Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the City of Petaluma's workshop on homelessness. My name is Mark Krug. I'm an employee of Burbank Housing, a Sonoma County-based nonprofit affordable housing developer of both rental affordable housing and ownership affordable housing. And I'm here to talk to you for just a couple of minutes about a form of affordable rental housing called permanent supported housing, or PSH. And that is affordable housing that is developed specifically and dedicated to homeless individuals. And permanent supported housing, the supported means there's services offered to the homeless people that are residents. That is an array of services that are voluntary. The people can opt to use the services or not. It's not custodial care. It's not a group home. It's independent living with support services available to those that want to take advantage of the services, and most do in practice. So one of the challenges with building permanent supported housing is acquiring enough capital funds to build the apartment or to renovate the building in the first place. Because we're keeping the rents so low, there's not an income stream to attract private investment. There's not enough income stream to really support any kind of sizable mortgage, maybe no mortgage whatsoever. That's a typical scenario. And so that means the burden of building permanent supported housing, the construction costs and the soft costs that are associated with that, fall to government. So when Burbank is building affordable housing, whether it's PSH or other kinds of affordable rental housing, we rely on multiple awards of funding from city, county, state, federal governments. It's not unusual to have 3 to 9 different funding sources for a project, and they all come together to get these things built. And so with permanent supported housing, we're trying to keep the rents so low and provide services funded from the rent stream. There just isn't room for a mortgage. So we're generally looking at paying 100% of the development costs or close to that from public sources, and sometimes philanthropic sources as well. But the burden historically falls to governments to build these. And then Burbank, or an organization like Burbank, is the developer and puts it all together. Another challenge with permanent supported housing, besides getting it built on the front end, is operationally. Again, we're trying to keep the units available to homeless people with no income in some cases, or in many cases, very low or extremely low income individuals. And so there's a real challenge around making that pencil out financially. And as a result, as a practical matter, rental assistance is almost always necessary. That could be in the form of Section 8 vouchers attached to the property rather than attached to the tenants. We call that project-based vouchers. And there's other forms of rental assistance, but basically rental assistance supporting the project, and those work by formula. So the tenants typically pay something like 1/3 of their gross income for rent, and then the source of rental assistance pays the difference up to near market rents. So that's a typical way to make these things work over the long haul and have adequate funds operationally once the thing is built to pay for the general operational costs, utilities, insurance, maintenance staff, and so on. And those kinds of costs in California are typically $500, $600, $700 a month per unit. And so that's just the amount of money needed to cover just basically operational expenses. And then we're also looking, as I said earlier, to fund services from the rent stream. So rental assistance is really critical, and it's often the case when you see a permanent supported housing project or property open, typically there's rental assistance involved. So that's a very, very short summary. Excited to say that Burbank is teaming up with the City of Petaluma and COTS as a service provider to build Studios of Montero. It's a property that's a conversion of a motel to homeless dedicated housing. And that's in the north part of Petaluma, just east of 101. And that should be under construction, rehab in this case, conversion later in the summer, and hopefully will open up to tenants in the fall or early winter. So thank you for your time and attention and for attending the workshop.